COVID-19, the virus from outer space conspiracy. The theory of life and disease from space isn't a new one. The theory is called panspermia, and a handful of researchers, including Steele and Vikram Singha, have been advocating it for decades. Panspermia is broadly speaking the idea that life arrived on Earth from space, and continues to do so. The notion goes all the way back to the ancient Greeks, but in its modern form it dates back to the 1970s and the work of two astronomers, Fred Hoyle and Chandra Vikram Singha. The space virus theory has been the work of a group of researchers, notably Edward J. Steele and N. Chandra Vikram Singha. This group has published 10 papers on the topic since the pandemic began, but this paper from July 14 offers the most detailed argument to date. They suggest that COVID-19 arrived on a meteor which was spotted as a bright fireball over the city of Songyuan in northeast China on October 11, 2019. They propose that the meteor might have been a fragile and loosely held carbonaceous meteorite carrying a cargo of trillions of viruses/bacteria and other primary source cells. A reasonable assumption is that the fireball, which struck 2,000 kilometers north of Wuhan, may have been part of a wide tube of debris, the bulk of which was deposited in the stratosphere to fall over Wuhan. We then assume the viral debris and particles then made landfall in Wuhan and related regions about a month to 6 weeks later, resulting in the first cases of viral pneumonia emerging in the Wuhan regions late November 2019 and early December 2019. Professor Vikram Singha is quoted to have said, "The Earth is not a disconnected entity in the biosphere, we are connected to the external universe." In the 1980s he proved that some of the dust found in interstellar space actually did contain organic material, most of which was carbon. Professor Vikram Singha has previously suggested that other deadly diseases came from an extraterrestrial source, including the 1918 flu pandemic, certain strains of mad cow disease and polio, and SARS, which he connected to a 2002 meteorite that exploded over the border of China and Russia. There is growing evidence that says this DNA comes from space, and it is carried into our atmosphere on micrometeorites before dissipating. The Andromeda Strain, a 1969 techno-thriller novel by Michael Crichton, documenting the efforts of a team of scientists investigating the outbreak of a deadly extraterrestrial microorganism in Arizona. The plot is based on a team from an Air Force base being deployed to recover a military satellite that has returned to Earth. They suspect it returned with an extraterrestrial contaminant and recommends activating Wildfire, a protocol for a government-sponsored team of scientists intended to contain threats of this nature. The Wildfire team believes that the satellite, intentionally designed to capture upper atmosphere microorganisms for bioweapon exploitation, returned with a deadly microorganism that kills through nearly instantaneous blood clotting. Were there worldwide lockdowns, the modern-day version of Wildfire protocols in the book? A bioweapon evolves. The great fear is that some new variant will completely drain the power of current vaccines and upend the progress we've made against the pandemic. This family of viruses proofreads itself as it replicates, which means it picks up mutations more slowly than viruses like influenza. For the first several months of the pandemic, the virus didn't seem to be changing in dramatic ways. But now, variants are dominating the conversation. Omicron, the latest variant. WHO officials named the B.1.1.529 variant Omicron after a letter in the Greek alphabet. Omicron ironically is also the name of a 1963 Italian science fiction movie, about an alien that takes over the dead body of an Earthling. Tony Cunningham, the co-director of the Center for Virus Research at the Westmead Institute, quotes, "The number of mutations are greater than we've seen in any one variant before. It appears that Omicron has double the amount of mutations that Delta has compared to the original virus from Wuhan. The more mutations a variant has, the more possibilities there are for the virus to evade antibodies from vaccines and previous COVID-19 infections. If Omicron spreads around the world and leads to a marked increase in hospitalizations and deaths, then governments may have to reimpose social distancing measures or intensify existing restrictions which, in the worst case, could mean a return to lockdowns." Thank you for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe for more content.